Whew, Mac, I'm glad you're here. It's a messy scene with a lot going on, but I'll let you draw your own conclusions after you look around a bit.
Interesting logo. I better take photos of everything unusual before they clean up this mess.
Something for your photo album?
We'll need all the king's men on this Humpty Dumpty. No time like the present to collect this blood sample. If it was foul play, it may not be all his. Looks like a small piece of synthetic fabric of some kind. You were right about the mess. What do you make of it?
Lethal dose of gravity meets pavement. Don't know quite what to make of the guy in his PJs. Considering the mess, it was obviously quite a fall, but this guy's missing the MO of a jumper. You don't get such messy corpses unless they fall a long way. This guy hit with speed. Must have started from one of the upper floors. The observation deck, though, it's locked tight. Thing about jumpers, they leap from no higher than the 20th story or so.
It's always got to be a deadly but short fall in case you change your mind halfway down.
The skyscraper's huge. 25,000 folks a day walk in and out of the lobby alone, not to mention the parking entrances.
The building has shops and restaurants, but no hotels or any place to sleep. Unless you're gonna sleep under the boss's desk.
Yeah, it beats me why he's dressed like he just hopped out of bed. I don't know, I'm confused. Makes for one hell of a weird jumper costume. People who jump from buildings usually want an audience, mainly because they want somebody to stop them. At this hour, though, the business district's a ghost town. Nobody saw him up there. I didn't know what to make of it either. It's some sort of ultralight fabric. Take a look at the pads of his fingers. See how they're torn? We call skin tears like that flappers. Definitely looks like he was holding on for dear life.
In that case, might be a window somewhere up there with blood stains, matching those skin tears.
Probably. Problem is, you'll have to figure out a way to narrow down which floor yourself. We don't have the manpower to search 100 stories with that many windows. Found it right next to the body. I'd guess that he was holding it as he fell.
Might be pretty important to the guy. The distinctive logo might mean something.
The watch commander for the building is out. Do me a favor. Check with his assistant, see if they recognize the Vic. Those fingers are torn so badly, no way you'll get a clean print. Good luck.
Looks like there's something missing. Guess I need to figure this out to log in. Obviously a big basketball fan.
Hey, you can't just barge in here.
Sorry about that, but I'm Detective Mac Taylor, Crime Lab. Are you the security officer who works this desk?
Well, my supervisor was, but I covered for him. I've been in the back trying to log onto my computer.
You're having a problem logging on?
Yeah, the supervisor just quit. And as his parting shot, he locked everybody out of the computer. I thought we were stuck until tomorrow. The detective says you want me to identify someone, but I don't know. I mean, you have any idea how big this place is? Sheer size. You know, this skyscraper's a modern wonder. Thousands of people traipse through that entrance every day. They go to 102 floors on 72 elevators. So if you're looking for just one face and all that...
It's the proverbial needle in a haystack.
Yeah, our only saving grace is that we have cameras all over this thing. We have a system that helps us organize it all. I use it to watch everything that goes on here, even when I'm not here. Oh, you must have that detective voodoo. I've been trying to crack that thing all day. Should have figured it had something to do with basketball. Yeah, I said his name was Flack, from Homicide. He said somebody'd be around to ask me questions. Guess that's you, right? So, can we get to it, though? Because I got, like, a lot of cameras to monitor. Oh, yeah. Homeland Security gave us some sort of facial recog software.
Meaning, your computer can compare the victim's face against your old security tapes, see if he's walked through the doors?
Exactly. Uses something called eigenvalues, whatever those are. Give it a try. Not really my taste. Oh, why are you showing me all that? You want me to identify his spleen or something? I've never seen that before.
What I'm about to show you is pretty ugly, but I'm only showing you the victim's face. Because I need an ID. You ready?
Whoa, don't think I've ever seen him before. Not on our security board, at least. He's definitely not building admin staff. I know everybody there. If you want to see if your victim came through here, first you gotta enter his info into the system. Select different parts of the face to make an exact match of the guy you're looking for. Computer will do the rest. Now, it's gonna take a while to search all the security video. I'll let you know if we locate your victim.
Thanks for your time. We'll be in touch if we need anything else.
Mac, there you are. We processed the crime scene and sent the body to the morgue.
Thanks, Don. I'm heading over there now.
Gotta tell you, Mac, I've seen over 100 falls in my time, but look at this guy. Fractures are expected, but...
It looks like his entire skeleton shattered. Something's clearly not right here.
I've done a computed tomography scan to get a detailed x-ray of his body. I want to see what happened inside this man's body on impact. Use the magnifying glass to examine the surface of the skin. Keep an eye out for scars, wounds, or any abnormalities. Also, the UV light can uncover discoloration on the skin. Exactly my findings as well. Those needle marks are unusual.
Yeah, too uniform for a junkie. They don't care what vein they hit, just as long as they get a main line.
I'd venture to say the needle marks are professional. Either the victim's a doctor or he knows someone who is.
Precise, clean. But if it was surgical, wouldn't there be stitches?
Not these days. Surgical glue is becoming more and more popular, though a fall like that would split the incisions open again. Now, that tattoo. You ever see anything like it?
Not the exact design, but the inks, yeah. UV sensitive, big in the high-end club scene, very tricky to work with. No more than a few parlors use this stuff.
The chemical composition of the ink appears to be unique. Maybe you can track down the tattoo artist. While you're doing that, I'll do a scraping of his nails to see if we can get any DNA. If we get lucky, we'll have a sample to compare to any suspects. I was just comparing the victim's abdominal x-ray against a normal one. Check out the differences. Now take a closer look at the bones in his hands and wrist. See how they compare with the normal X-ray? All his other X-rays showed the same thing. The guy's like a bag of glass. His bones shouldn't be shattered this extensively.
What about brittle bone disease, where the bones are incredibly fragile? Maybe it's that?
I'd say yes, but his physique doesn't square with that diagnosis. He's muscular, built like a horse. The disease would prevent him from performing strenuous exercise. Let's examine him some more.
Hey, Adam, what do you have for me?
Mac, just the guy I was looking for. I started processing the evidence from your jumper.
Anything good?
Not sure yet. You can check the monitors for anything you need to know.
Adam.
Ready to do some needle pointing? I've set up some gels and the most likely instruments that made the puncture wound. See if you can determine which needle made the puncture on his leg. Good work. The 16-gauge needle is definitely what we're looking for. So, I started to look into the UV tattoo you found. There are too many parlors in the city for a blind search, but we were able to narrow down the chemical source of the UV ink used. From that, we got a list of the most recent shipments. Maybe you could help me see if there's a match. Nice eye. Odds are pretty good that the Vic got his glow-in-the-dark dragon at hot points. Let me know what the place is like. I might just want to get some ink.
I'll be sure to get you a brochure.
Now, to determine what was used to make those incisions on the victim's back, we need to use these sample instruments to see if an identical incision can be made. That's the exact blade, all right. No question, it's a surgeon's scalpel.
Hypodermic needles and a surgeon's scalpel. What was this guy into?
So what? He escaped from the hospital, hides out in the Empire State Building, and then nosedives out a window? Whew, I can think of 1,000 better ways to spend my weekend.
Here's what I need. Check around with the nearest hospitals, see if any of their patients legged it out of their mid-treatment. I'll pursue the tattoo.
Aye, aye, Chief. Good luck.
Hey, Mac. Any new leads on the case?
We found ink from the Vic's tattoo that's unique to this place.
All right, then let's see what they can tell us.
No shortage of designs here. Looks like there's 2 of each. That's our victim's tattoo. This is definitely the place. Now let's see if we can finally get an ID on him.
These needles are the wrong size to account for the puncture wounds on our victim.
Welcome to Hot Points. What can I do for you?
I'm Dr. Sheldon Hawks from the crime lab, and this is Detective Mac Taylor.
We were wondering if you knew the artist on this tattoo.
You like? That's my handiwork. It's easily one of my favorite pieces. I can cut you a deal if you want me to start inking you right now.
No thanks. Kind of a body purist.
Oh, too bad, though. Would look good on you. Then again, such an extensive piece takes a long time to put together. The last guy who got it was way focused. Wore the thing like it was an emblem of glory. An intense guy. When he did talk, though, it wasn't really to me. More to himself.
Yeah? What did he say?
Sounded more like a guru tapping the source than some dumb jock. Talked about taking life by the throat. Really private.
But you knew his name, right? I assume he signed some kind of boilerplate, indemnifying you in case you botched the tat?
Of course. A name as unusual as his personality. Clay Sandor. A piece like this is a masterpiece of concentration. What's more, these inks are painful, but this guy took it like a pro. Judging by his build and high pain tolerance, I thought maybe he was into extreme sports. But every time I asked, he acted like it was the first he noticed I was there. Head in the clouds. Like I said, it's one of the best pieces I've ever done. I'm honored that Clay asked me to ink him like that. Wow, that's messed up. If you hadn't told me it was Clay, I'd never have guessed. But believe me, that tattoo's a one of a kind. If your dead body had it, it's Clay. Yeah, I've seen it before. Clay wore it a lot when he first started coming to his inking sessions.
But he stopped wearing it somewhere in between?
Sorta. I think it was like the 5th session when this Mohawk dude in a suit barged in yelling about wasting money on tattoos. Sounded like his mother. Well, Clay just exudes calmness. Simply slipped the bracelet off and handed it to Mr. Mohawk, or one like it anyway. Settled Mohawk down.
Thanks for taking the time, Miss Utlans.
No problem, sweetie. Come back if you change your mind about that tattoo.
So what do you think?
I think we finally got a name for our dead body. Now let's get an address.
Hey Mac, how's the case?
I could use a fresh set of eyes.
Well, this brown-eyed girl is at your service. Just got a call from building security. Ran that facial recognition program against 3 full days of tape. Turned up nothing.
Means our victim must have entered the building more than 72 hours ago. Might explain the pajamas, since he obviously had to stay overnight somewhere.
Yeah, question is, where? I'll have to do the math to figure out which floor he fell from. Very weird. So that means he either jumped farther than humanly possible, or he started higher than the top floor. You sure you did your math right?
Positive. And math never lies, Lindsay.
My old trig teacher said that too. I never thought I'd actually use trig. Now that we know our Vic's name, let's see what we can find out about him. Let's cross-reference the DMV database with criminal records and see if there's a match. Looks like Clay doesn't have much of a record. A couple trespassing counts. But here's his last known address, an apartment in the meatpacking district. Looks like you've got quite a mess on your hands.
Yeah. Hopefully something in our Vic's apartment can explain how he managed to defy physics.
Hey, Mac. Just got the super to open up Sandor's place for us. Let's see what's inside.
We now know how he died. Let's see if there are any clues in how he lived. Sounds like Clay's father really pushed the limits. Quite a legacy for his son to live up to.
This article is dated 10 years ago, almost to the day. Clay would have been 13 years old when they died.
doesn't seem to be working. Maybe I can get it going. Touching.
I'd say obsessive. I'll see if I can track down who this Link character is.
I think it's time to talk to Dr. Coyle.
Paperwork calls, but I'll check in with you later.
How sure are you that our victim fell from here on the 81st floor?
I had Lindsay triple-check the calculations, and we still can't figure out where he fell from. At the moment, Dr. Coyle's office here is our best guess.
Okay, let's check it out.
Door's locked. Must be gone for the day.
It's stuck. Maybe we can find something to pry it open. Alright, now that we got it open, let's see what we can find.
These prints look a bit smudged, but maybe they'll be useful. Let's grab them. We'll analyze these later. We're on the right track. We've got blood here. Time to get a sample. If we're right, this will prove that this was the window Clay fell from. If this print matches who I think it will, we'll have enough for a warrant to search Coyle's cuts. I'm heading over to the lab.
Good luck.
Hey, Mac. Got something?
That's for you to tell me.
Let's take a look at it.
You got those prints set up for me?
Yeah. Are you sure you want to run the comparisons yourself?
I do.
Okay.
There's something wrong?
You and Stella are satisfied with my work, right?
Yes, Adam, I am totally 100% satisfied with your work. Believe it or not, sometimes I just like to run my own tests so I can keep myself sharp.
Right, of course. That's good. You should definitely keep doing that.
What do you got for me, then?
It was hard to reproduce the prints from... You're onto something. The prints on the windowsill definitely belong to Clay Sandor. Now we know where he fell from, but we still have to figure out what happened.
I'm gonna call in a warrant for Coyle's cuts.
You might need this.
Clay's ruined fingerprints?
I didn't spend all this time working on them to throw them away. Besides, they might come in handy.
Mac, remember that note from the Vic's apartment? I was able to get a hit on the name. Turns out Link Sark was Clay's manager. He's got an office uptown off 3rd.
I'm heading there now.
Link Sark, manager of the greatest athletes in the world. How can I help you?
I'm Detective Mac Taylor, and this is Detective Danny Messer.
We have some bad news, Mr. Sark. Your client, Clay Sandor, he died last night.
Clay's dead? And that won't make my investors happy.
A lot of reactions in my years on the job, Mr. Sark, but I don't think anybody's ever leapt immediately to investment woes. At least not out loud.
Hey, look, I'm upset, but I'm a businessman first. Hey, I gotta take this call in the other room.
You mind if we look around?
Knock yourselves out.
This cabinet has some sort of combination lock. Let's see. What do we have here? That's a hefty salary.
Guess I need to rethink what a millionaire looks like.
Sorry about that. I had to take that call. Just signed a couple of great new climbers. Clay was something special, though. A natural athlete to the nth degree. A sports manager's dream.
You make him sound like the next Michael Jordan.
Extreme sports, sure. To watch him move, it was damn near balletic. Trust me, we were going places. I was going to bring the sport of urban climbing into the limelight, and Clay was our poster boy. Of course, that made a lot of his contemporaries jealous. Then, just as we were going to ink the biggest deal yet, he dropped out of sight, and now you say he's dead?
How do you make money off urban climbing?
I got deals brewing with a half-dozen brands. All of them want in when urban climbing hits the front pages of every sporting mag in the country.
So in your mind, urban climbing's the next snowboarding or motocross?
Let me put it this way. Clay was set to scale famous skyscrapers around the world, unfurling a giant banner once he reached the top. The stunt would undoubtedly be covered in the international press. Imagine the exposure. Now I've got to try to unwind the deals before they sink me.
Urban climbing? Really?
You don't believe that urban climbing is the next big sport? Well, even the mainstream media is catching on. You want to talk to more of these urban climbers? They usually hit an underground hipster joint called the Club Noir in Soho. Funny how a tiny ounce of jealousy blows into a blood feud with these guys.
Jealous of Clay and the fame you'd bring him?
To put it delicately, the Van Lars twins are the dumbest couple of half-wits this side of the Neanderthals. And because no sports management company in their right mind will sign them, they badmouth Clay any chance they get. There's a lot of knuckle-headed testosterone mucking up the sport. Yahoos without any presence. Clay had the whole package. Body, voice, intensity. He was going to bring the sport out of the shadows and make it mainstream.
Clay had rivals.
A lot of guys have been living and breathing the sport for years. Every one of them believe they're the rightful heirs to the urban climbing crown. So yeah, a lot of guys were jealous of Clay.
When was the last time you saw Mr. Sander?
A couple of weeks back, Clay came to me, said there was a family emergency.
What kind of emergency?
No. Kept it vague, but he needed a sizable advance. Then, gone. He didn't answer my calls. I had to do a dance of the 7 veils just to keep the deals in play. Let's just say it was a big ouch, big time expensive. Whatever his family emergency was, I had little choice if I wanted Clay to perform.
In other words, you were willing to go the extra distance to make sure Clay did his thing.
Mollifying all the investors and unwinding the endorsement deals is a heartbreak and a headache all at the same time. Maybe I should hit Club Noir and try to find a new deal. Who'd have guessed? Today might be the Van Lars twins' big payday. Truth is, Clay was a certifiable nut. He was always coming in talking about dreams and visions and all that crap. My job was to keep him focused on what made us money. Oh yeah, those things mark you as part of the pack. You get one after you scale your 5th building, proving you've got stones.
Or maybe a couple of loose marbles.
Ha ha. Climbers have been wearing them for about a year now. Don't mean to brag, but I had one too. Didn't really go with my suit. Keep your eyes open. You'll probably see him around Club Noir down in Soho. Gravity is a cruel master. Pity that physics got between Clay and a promising career. Looks like someone needs to call a cleaner. I've never seen that before. Looks pretty... Oh yeah, that thing. I was busting my hump to set up a strategic media push, including a shoot with a famous sports photographer, and I discovered Clay was inking himself, which meant the photographer couldn't do the shoot until Clay healed. It meant we had to push the shoot back for weeks. The guy had no head for self-promotion. Unless there's something else? I've got some calls to return.
No, that should be it.
He seems more concerned with Clay's income than Clay's life.
He's a manager. What do you expect? Let's try to catch up with these Van Lars twins. Maybe they can shed some light on this for us.
You look like you're lost.
He looks like a cop.
I'm Mac, crime scene. You must be the famous Van Lars twins.
He's heard of us.
Don't get too excited. Your pictures are on the wall.
So we hear Clay took a dive. SOB never did have a lick of sense. I guess Link backed the wrong horse.
Interesting choice of words.
To be a successful urban climber, no matter how much smack a guy talks, you gotta play safe. And what's the point if you end up a smear on the New York asphalt anyway?
So Clay's daredevilness was getting out of hand.
Clay always went for a higher vertical. Always did stupider things than anyone else. Hate to say it, brah, but Clay got what was coming to him.
Not a fan, I take it.
Wasn't just climbing. The guy tried everything out there. Said he was walking on the bleeding edge. But if you ask anybody else, that edge must have been dull as a butter knife.
Nice metaphor, but I don't follow.
Clay was stupid with fashion, drugs, hairstyle. The guy strutted around like a damn peacock, when in fact everybody was laughing at him behind his back. At least we don't have to look at his clown face anymore. Don't know what witchcraft Clay used to hook poor Link. Link's big endorsement scheme was for Clay to climb the highest skyscrapers and unspool like a bunch of fancy banners. One big problem with that.
Let me guess, you'd need a pair of binocs to read an ad up that high.
Exactly. All Clay could talk about was how brilliant his big idea was. But all we could think about was Clay's middle name was Snafu. Stress on the AFU part, if you get me. Now all Link has is a meat sack for a client. Oh yeah, they used to be the emblem of the climber last year, but us elite climbers have moved on. We've given ours away to hookups, fanboys, and our entourage. But then knockoffs started showing up everywhere. Now even those pathetic granola rock climbers are wearing them. Ah, that's righteous! Gotta be Amy's work. She's top line expensive. Hate to say it, but I gotta give Clay props for this. Dude, you see this?
It's a lot of dough. I knew Link was a nut job. Clay was a loon, plain and simple.
Funny how the last time we saw Clay, he was babbling about becoming bigger than a myth. Try flatter than a pancake. Seriously though, we couldn't make out what he was talking about. Some kind of medical thing. And he was gonna get Link to pay for it.
Wish we could say we were all watching Clay do his big downward spiral. Would have given anything to see that.
Careful. A wish like that makes you a murder suspect.
Cool your wingtips, Sherlock. We were here, downing drinks and scamming on the Trixies.
For your sake, I hope so. I'm heading back to the morgue, but both of you should know. One hair from either you Bobbsey twins shows up and you're instant toast.
You know where to find us, Detective. Good luck. Who the hell are the Bobbsey twins?
So get this, the guy might have been into serious surgical modification. Stuff that's frankly way out there.
What happened to the good old days of steel bars and tongue forking?
Welcome to 5 minutes in the future. Here are some bone fragments from our victim. After you assemble them, see if you detect something unusual. Notice these stainless steel hooks on the scapula? We didn't see them because when he hit the ground back first, these body modifications were slammed into the skeleton. I have no idea what they might be for. And the clavicle is an artificial bone, some super light material and very strong. Try running the serial number in the lab. And while you're there, I also have some suspicions about his blood. Maybe you and Lindsay can figure out what's going on with that.
Back again?
There's always something.
Well, let's get to it then. We ran a search for the serial number from the victim's artificial clavicle. Let's see if we can cross-reference hits on that number. Yep. Looks like Coyle's Cuts designed and ordered those artificial bones from the manufacturer.
And their office is down the hall from the fall location.
Plus, the victim had their business card. Besides the artificial bones, Clay was covered in needle marks.
You're thinking what I'm thinking, that Clay was dosing himself to tweak his body?
Not sure yet. Let's examine the blood sample to... blood contained trimethylzone. That explains why Clay shattered the way he did on impact. That drug thinned his bones out.
Sort of artificial osteoporosis.
Messing with the chemical composition of your body is never a good idea. Things look pretty bad for Dr. Coyle.
Sure do. I'm on my way to pick up the warrant for their offices. Let's figure out their connection to Mr. Sandor.
Hey, Mac. Looks like someone's trying to hide Clay's debts.
Clay owed Dr. Coyle more than 100 grand for medical procedures. I'd say that qualifies as a motive. This X-ray shows the same body modifications our Vic had.
Not much of a security system if you leave the instruction manual lying around.
The quack has credentials. A vial of trimethylzone. Same blood-thinning chemical we found in our victim.
Who are you? Why are you in here? Those are my patient's confidential records. He may be gone, but unless you have a warrant...
Easy, Dr. Coyle. I'm Danny Messer, NYPD, okay? This is Mac Taylor. Warren here buys us admission to continue our little tour through your office.
Yes, your warrant does specify Mr. Sandor as the focus of your investigation. Very well, then. Clay Sandor. We joked that he was our own personal block of marble, from which we were chiseling something beautiful. Our one masterpiece.
One masterpiece. There are no other patients here?
We're so specialized in what we do, elevating the human form beyond the confines of our current evolution, that we only take one patient at a time.
Clay was staying here?
Yes, he left abruptly last night without explanation. We're deeply worried. Though Clay's a fast healer, treatment was still ongoing.
You mean he was still under your care?
Oh yes, he had at least a dozen more rounds of tests to go before we would have allowed him to leave. This is indeed a horrible tragedy. Clay was going to be the first flying man. We were going to make history. Yes, we got his initial payment for $1 million, but Clay signed to pay much more. You think my services are cheap? I'm banking everything on my technique working, and this guy has the gall to receive fully rendered procedures and then renege on payment. It's not like I can take the surgeries back.
He owes you almost 100 grand more. That's gotta hurt you.
It's breaking me. I can't do R&D on my next project because of Clay. He's ruining me. This X-ray shows what we call scapular anchors, a kind of bony hook fused to bones near his shoulders. I designed them myself.
Hooks? Hooks for what?
You see, Clay wished to fly. It's obviously well beyond medicine's grasp to construct bird wings for a human body, though they'd be impractical at human size anyway. Clay had a brainstorm. Attach a surgical steel-framed paraglider to 2 anchor points. The paraglider would give him lift. Not powered flight, but flight nonetheless. May I have a copy of that? I want my lawyer to see it. Motivate him to go after some back bills.
Sorry, it's evidence.
I use that booklet to remind me how to get out of the office when the security system is activated. Yes, I am fully qualified. Graduated near the top of my class. This line of work combines my medical skills with my creative nature. I create works of art, wrought from flesh itself. You haven't found the wings, have you?
No.
I'd really like to get them back. I'm not done working on them. Fact is, they have to be perfect. If he were to test the wings prematurely, if something were to happen, I'm afraid it may inspire the board to revoke my license. Between you and me, those jealous bastards think I'm crazy for dreaming so big. Please be careful with that. It is invaluable to our research here. I could explain it to you, but, you really wouldn't understand. Yes, he had the tattoo when I operated. I believe it was from Hot Point's tattoo parlor, if I recall correctly. It looks like fabric from Clay's wings, but I can't be sure.
With the blood smears outside his office and the money his motive, I mean, it's enough to bring Dr. Coyle in for further questioning. I'll meet you down at the station.
You need to play straight with us, Dr. Coyle. This is save your ass time. Only you can help yourself from here on out.
Look, you really got the wrong guy. I know Clay owed me, but if the procedure worked, I'd get business like you wouldn't believe.
In that case, you won't mind explaining these items we've taken from your office.
It looks like fabric from Clay's wings, but I can't be sure. I didn't kill Clay. I had too much invested in him to want him dead. Sure, he owed me for some of the procedures, but have you ever tried to get money back from a dead man? We were working on revolutionizing modern sports medicine. He was my ticket to fortune. Yes, Clay owed me a considerable sum of money. Do I need my lawyer here? With all of our highly specialized equipment, we of course set our security alarm every night after we...
And if somebody other than you is responsible for Clay's death, how was it disabled?
Clay knew the code. We tell all of our patients the code. Someone he knew probably knocked at the door, otherwise why would he have left the office? This X-ray shows what we call scapular hooks. You see, Clay wished to fly. It's obviously well beyond medicine's grasp to construct bird wings for a human body. $1 million. If Clay had that kind of money, why wasn't he paying me back?
You think you know a guy.
Yes, we were looking to reduce Clay's bone density to that of a bird's. Problem was, Clay didn't want to lose his muscle mass.
Because his physique was part of his overall body aesthetic.
Exactly. So the bone thinning became a complex issue, one we were trying to sort out when he disappeared. Even as a professional climber, there's no way Clay could have scaled the building in his weakened condition. If he tried, that explains why his finger pads are ripped up.
Not from you? Pushing him out the window? Hanging on for dear life because he couldn't pay you?
No! I swear, I build lives, not destroy them.
Even though Clay was destroying yours?
I would have pulled through financially. Please, this is ridiculous. Yes, Clay's been a patient under our care for just over 2 weeks. Took no phone calls or visitors during that time. Model patient, very focused in doing everything necessary to complete his body mod vision.
Even though Dr. Coyle might not be the most ethical body modification doc out there, I think he's telling the truth.
Agreed. Clay's success would have brought him big business, easily recouping the money he lost. The only person who actually wanted to find Clay was Link. I'll set up the building's face recognition program to check for him.
Good to see you again, Detective. Did you find the killer?
That's why we're here. Can we use your computer again?
Anything I can do to help. You know, I wanted to be a cop once.
That's nice.
Couldn't pass the test.
Oh.
I may try again. Took my uncle 6 or 7 tries.
About the computer?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go right ahead. Second time's the charm?
Hopefully. We want to see if the victim's manager entered the building recently.
It'll take a while to search. I'll let you know if we get a hit.
Thanks. I'm heading back to the lab now.
Are you ready for an update?
You have information for me?
Think so. It may be the break in the case you're looking for. Good news. We got a good sample from Clay's fingernails to be analyzed. Check it out. Because there was a struggle, any skin cells found could contain the assailant's DNA. We gathered comparison samples from Link, the Van Lars twins, and Dr. Coyle. Let's see if any of them are responsible. So, the DNA from Clay's fingernails matches Link. Well, guess what? The Empire State Building just sent over a copy of their security tape. Your facial recognition program hit pay dirt too. The tape shows that Link was in the Empire State Building within an hour of Clay's death. Add that to the fact that Clay disarmed the security system to let in a friend, and it seems pretty clear.
Let's head over to Link Sark's office and see if we can bring him in for questioning.
NYPD, we have a search warrant for these premises. Repeat, NYPD. We have a search warrant for these premises.
Looks like he's not here. I wonder if these fit together. Looks like we just found Clay's famous wings. There's a piece of fabric missing, too.
What you got there, Mac?
I have a hunch about some fabric.
Let's see what you got then. Let's compare the fabric from the crime scene to the fabric from those wings. See if you can get the images to match. Looks like we have a match, and possibly...
Mac, we just picked up Link's sock at his office. Guy tried to run. I grabbed him by his mohawk and brought him down. Meet us at the station.
I'm losing my shirt here. Clay's plummet could sink my business. I should be out there making calls, not sitting here being harassed. I hadn't even seen him in weeks. The advance to Clay is gone. The bastard spent it all. But you think I can go to investors with some ridiculous body mod story when they're expecting paychecks?
You're digging your own hole here, Link. Sounds like enough to drum up a motive.
Call it whatever you want. I can't get the sponsors to hold off on their penalty clauses. I'm potentially out millions. What part of my story are you not understanding? Clay tapped me for a cool million, then he suddenly dropped out of sight. Next thing I hear, you're scraping him off the pavement with a spatula.
So let me guess, you think you should be given a medal with all the work you've done to keep Clay's name in good standing. Sing us another song, Link.
Okay, look, Clay was off his rocker. When I saw him at the doctor's, he was wearing some crazy contraption on his back. All of a sudden, Clay threw open the window, took a leap, opened his wings, and snap! Off they came. He fell to his death.
So after Clay fell, you went down and found the wings and took them home?
I was desperate to pay off even a small sliver of the million. The streets were empty, nobody saw him. So when I left, I snagged the wings, collapsed them down and ran. I figured somebody would pay big money for them. Well, okay. When I transferred the million, Clay wanted 100 grand of it moved to an account belonging to some guy named Coyle, some freako plastic surgeon.
So you went looking for him?
Yeah, but the door was locked and nobody was answering. Figured you guys would profile me as a suspect, Mr. Mohawk, the bad seed. So I kept my little trip to the doctors to myself. That whack job doctor had all kinds of security measures. I mean, maybe Clay let the killer in himself. Look, you got me. I was there. We might have had a fight, but my DNA under Clay's nails doesn't prove anything. Damn idiot was spending my money to turn himself into an unsellable freak. Well, mister, I want to soar with the birds got his wish. The window was open, so I pushed him out. He must have soared for 20 or 30 seconds. Soared right out of my line. Served him right.
Clay may have been costing you the business, but he was not a product to be thrown away. In our business, we call it murder. You're going away a long time for that.